Okay, so let's now get down to a more thorough and detailed investigation of what our scope is, what assets are in there, and what services are run to perform some business job, right? We will go through the overall uh, vision of CEH according to this phase of penetration testing. Then in the way we will review the tools that can be and should be used for that. I will give you some valuable hints from my experience of what are the pitfalls of this process, because there are a few nuances, I guess, that you should be aware of in order to save you a lot of time. And then we will get down to the practice, yeah, because that's what it's all about, right? So methodologically, EC Council's vision about how this scanning and enumeration process should look like encompasses these two things that we have already done, right? In the reconnaissance phase, we have gathered information from open sources, and we have determined to some extent the network ranges that are within the scope. And scanning and enumeration, of course, is all about the network type of penetration testing. It does not involve any wireless activities or any social engineering tricks, right? So what left from this scope of activities that we have to perform by scanning and enumerating the assets? So first of all, we have to identify active machines within the scope. So within these network ranges that we have already figured out, we have to understand what runs there and what can be actively interacted with, right? So these will give us possible avenues for the attack, because it is not practical to hack into something that is not responding to you, right? Just because you know that it was there some time ago and is reflected in the DNS zone configuration, for example. So we have to validate that things are there and they are responding to our exploit attempts, for example, right? Then we will have to go through what these assets actually do. So we will have to find open ports and other access points that can be interacted with in order to execute potential attacks. This will not be always just open ports. Even closed ports are valuable information, because we will see not only that something is there, but something is there for a known reason, right? So it's running, but still it's closed. Why is it so? It will raise a question. If it's filtered, it can give us an idea about that service is yet there. We cannot fingerprint it actively, but we can assume that someone, not us, is allowed to get in touch with it. Okay, but if it's closed completely, this may shed some light into organizational culture, networking, personnel behavior, and so on. So all this is very valuable when collected in large amounts. So the more information you could get, the more far-going conclusion you will make. After that, we'll have to figure out the nature of the things running on the network, right? So just knowing that IP address is there and it's responding to your ping echo requests, right, is not enough. You will have to know what it is, what operating system it runs, and yeah, services as well. But I just want to emphasize here that this information will be available to you to some level of precision, right? So you will be sure that it's Linux, for example, not Windows or some other type of Unix operating system. But you will not normally be 100% sure about the distribution and the distribution version number, right? So you will be able to identify the kernel version, but still the large amount of information will remain invisible to you. Okay, so get ready to operate incomplete information, because this is what it's all about. In the end, we will start to put all this collected information into some order, right? So this is where things become really business oriented, right? So this is the point when we are starting to collect the data that will be in some cases without any changes transmitted into our reporting process. So we will have to put everything in order, because otherwise everything will be messy, and we will have to spend a lot of time just figuring out what we have collected and what are the relations between all these assets. So in order to avoid that, we will have to use some tools of structured information storage, and I will see you a few examples that have recommended themselves well throughout my career. So keep in mind these two objectives. All the time we discuss this topic, we will have to understand that in the end we need to get just two things: the inventory of all assets within target scopes. Okay, so we will have to be able to put it in some table or written form and just leave it like that for the rest of our penetration testing activities. We will update it definitely, but the structure has to be established in the beginning. If it's tables, okay, let it be tables. If it's some kind of hyperlinked nodes, okay, that's good too. But we will have to keep it in order throughout the rest of the penetration test. And the second, now this early in the pen testing activities, you have to already understand the priorities between different perspectives, right? So as long as you have the idea about what is run within the scope, you will already be able to guess what paths, what avenues are more likely to be attacked by malicious hackers. And this should be an indicator to you of what paths to take in order to demonstrate this business risk. So keep in mind that it will be structured, it should be structured, and it should be prioritized in the context of possible perspective of the attack, okay, taking place. So yeah, let's go.